You know, more people just need to choose love.
Yeah, that's yeah. And happiness and kindness. And it's okay.
Oh, Brandon went over there. He's like, I'm going to get that one. I'm going to mark that down. I know I got Bob on tape for saying that one.
I've got some blood on my knees. I've got this pain on the leash. I won't give in to the thieves.
This is Brandon. He's a
Hi,
video
Brandon.
guy.
Hi. Good. How are you?
Great.
Great.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So basically, he's videoing just to get clips from Bob, and I'll
Okay.
just like to clarify that. So everything that you're saying is not going to be,
Not going to be posting me to the wall.
No, not at all.
That's great.
No. Well, when we are careful, because I mean, we have conversations that, I mean, they're confidential. I mean, I talk about people's credit, their social, their income, and all that kind of stuff, and none of that stuff goes out. But
Right.
what it allows me to do is to show people, look, there's different things that we do during a day, and you know, it's not all easy. There's a lot of dirt work that's involved, and you got to move a lot of dirt to build a house, right? To make something happen. And while you may see the fluff and some of the pretty things that go on, you know, the finished product, that's a lot of work to get to that point. And I like people to know, regardless of where they think I am in my career after 22 years or the next 22, that I'm working as hard as what I did, maybe even harder now, today than even what I did when I first got into the business.
Yeah.
I think today it's even harder to do business, and it's also easier to do it because of if you embrace all this, you get out in front of a lot more people.
Right.
It's harder because there's more people doing what we do because of all this stuff, and you know, it keeps you sharp.
Yeah, that's true. And I think you're right in saying it's good for people to know like where you kind of came from, and you're still hustling basically
Every day.
Because if you don't, then the next person that is embracing all of this is going to take over your spot, right? And
Very quickly.
I like to be in competition with myself because I like to see where was I at a month ago, where was I at a year ago. Okay,
Yeah.
I
That's
wanna
your
go
only
for,
competition.
and that's
Is
the
right
thing.
here
I
in
think-
between the two ears, right?
I think some people that look at you and say, "Oh, she's my competition," you know, like in any industry, that's where they fail automatically.
Yeah.
Instead of staying like in your own headspace.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so true, and that, you know, good for you to know that already. You know, it took me a while to understand that in business, and you know, I'm quite a bit older than you, so it took me some time, and so that's good for you to already be in that place where you realize the only competition you have and the only limits you have is what you really believe that you can do yourself.
Right.
And so once I got over that, then you know, it's been fun. Oh, it makes it more fun.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because there's not anyone out there that's going to hold me down.
Right.
You know, I think there's my quote. Yeah. I knew there was one up there because I did. You know, I mean, it is. It starts in between your two ears.
Right. Because like on like reality TV shows and on TV in general, it's like it's all about like negative stuff is what gets people's attention, and it's like more people seem to have access to like basic TV than they do the internet. But when they finally like just pick up their phone and go on the internet, it's better for them to see some positive stuff rather than more negative stuff.
I don't think we've watched the news in 20 years or whatever, but you know, but you don't get the choice. If you watch the channel, it's just going to tell you, and what they do is they do typically go with all the negative and all the bad and all that kind of stuff, because that tends to that's what people get hooked on. But like with the way these things now have become, Fox, CBS, NBC, all that kind of thing, I can go and I can say, I choose to look at this uplifting video.
Right.
I choose to look at this motivational video. And now I get to choose what I'm watching, what I'm feeling, and how it's projecting my attitude out to other people. So, I mean, I think we're seeing a shift, to your point, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, I hope it's a good thing.
It is. It is. You know, more people just need to choose love.
Yeah, that's yeah. And happiness and kindness. And it's okay.
Oh, Brandon went over there. He's like, I'm going to get that one. I'm going to mark that down. I know I got Bob on tape for saying that one.
One of our big pillars is education. Bob teaches tons of classes, and maybe that's something that we could collaborate on sometime, maybe at one of your houses. He does bring a big group. And all of his classes are CE, and just, great. I think that may be your passion over everything is education.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's putting stuff out there to help people make good decisions, right?
Right.
I mean, I do believe owning a home is the best thing that you can do over renting, right? And so I also believe that mainstream media pretty much sucks at everything that they do is telling people how difficult it is to buy. And the reality is, at least for me with, boots on the ground, I mean, it's pretty easy
Right.
to be able to purchase a home. And I feel it's my responsibility to make sure everybody knows that.
And I think that's a good aspect that you have about yourself, because a lot of realtors, like new realtors or realtors that just don't do this business as a full-time job, they just do it as a part-time gig, they don't really understand how to educate their clients on the whole process and that it's not so difficult. Because sometimes some agents can really mess up some things, and it's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
Relax. It's not this difficult. You know, we do this every day.
Yes, so true.
So,
You're singing to the choir on that
you
one.
just got to relax,
Yeah.
and I think that's a good thing. Agents need a lot of education. We need the agents need us. It's all a circle, but we all also have to educate each other on what we need from each other to be able to make it a smooth process, not just for us, but for the client.
For the client.
Because the client is the one that's going to send us business again, right?
And so that's what we talk about is that, look, I would love for it to be great for you and I, but ultimately it's about the experience the client's having. If they feel great about the experience they're having and had, then we ultimately win because they're going to refer us more people.
Yeah.
Right? So yes, it's going to end up being great for us, but I'm focused more on the experience of the client.
Right.
So yeah, so I mean you fit. Well,
A lot more than most, I think.
Well, because you are focused on the development side, so heavily on the development side and staying with the agent, because you could be like a lot and just like it's a CD waiting to mature, you just stick a sign in it and wait for somebody to come sell the product, and you're actively building. So I haven't gone as deep as probably what I should have before you came in here, and I will, but with your social media, and are you doing things like, really walking through your property, your neighborhood, walking through properties and showcasing them on social media, every other day or every week, there's going to be homes that you're showcasing so that your real estate community is always seeing you in that.
Right, and then
that
that
light.
routine and at that time, and so that's what I have to work on, right?
Okay.
I was watching one of your videos, and I think it was actually your Facebook Live last week, and
Okay.
you were just mentioning how Facebook has to be like, you need to do personal, you need to do business. Don't conjoin them both. And I'm like, oh, I'm a idiot, because I just have it all together, right? So maybe it could be really confusing to some people. Like, what does she do? Is she selling houses, or is she hanging out with the family? Like, what does she really do? Saying,
Well,
what do you think about
no,
that?
okay, and go back to that first comment. Context behind all that was my personal is personal. Like that, I don't want. If I wanted to do that, nobody would ever see that because it wouldn't be a Facebook page that you could find, right? But my personal page is another extension of my business page.
Okay, good. Well, thank you so
God,
much,
yeah.
Jen. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, good to
Thank
see
you so much. I really
Bye-bye.
appreciate
Yep.
it. Thank you so much. Bye.
There are no true guarantees. I'm holding tight to believe, watching it rise like a beast.
I mean, you can have a flat fee transactional based model if you're self-sourcing your own business. If you want to participate in the lead program, it's going to be this split, right? And then then leads are provided, but you just have to figure out, like, anything free has no value, right? So that's why you have to really micromanage, unfortunately, that lead flow, because they may not work it as hard. And are you going to allow them to go back and forth? Like I'll have my guys, if they bring in a deal, they get paid the same amount of money if I'm bringing in the deal. Because if they get paid a whole lot more bringing in that deal, then they're not working my deals as much, and therefore that's suffered, and that's what funds all this stuff, right? So they if you want to go over here on your own, great, go over here on your own, but you can't play both sides, right? That's just my personal feeling. Because as soon as they got that one lead they think is theirs, they forget all about that stuff and all these calls and everything else, and they go over here to take care of that one client that's buying in 6 months, right? Because they're going to get paid, 100% or whatever it is.
I think that's been another one of our problems of coming together, is not really having the defined roles. We've said some things, but we haven't executed.
Okay. So we're very defined. We have to be because we're husband and wife too, but we're very defined in our roles. And I think in a three-way partnership, so to speak, I mean, you got to be very defined, because then also it maximizes your return on investment, and it delivers a better experience for the agent, especially if you're going to go out there and start growing, because they want to know, who do I go to? I go to you for mentorship and conversion of whatever this is. I go to you from a training and technical standpoint or all the operations and conversion usage and all that stuff. I go to you if I'm looking to grow my team and get more agents to come on board. They need to know those things, right? And that is value. That's value for a firm that's putting something out there to grow. Is like, look, for this, you don't get one, you get 3 people that has specialization in each one of these areas, each one of these categories, right? I mean, honestly, this has helped for me. I mean, that gives me an insight into where you guys are, where you're headed. I mean, this is important. This is where my relationships, I love for them to start, right? Because if I'm not part of that, then it's harder on the back end, right? So it's just understanding where you guys are wanting to go. Because I need to make sure that when we gauge impact, a lot of it is all about engagement, right? What are you really engaged in everything that we're doing, right? Are you engaged in videos? Are you engaged in shows? Are you engaged in our online marketing? Are you engaged in those types of things? Because engagement makes it also a lot harder for you to exit relationships, right? Those that are just, dipping their toe in, they're trying this, they're trying that. It's easy to enter and exit out of things. And that's not, for me, that's not where we are with our business and the type of impact that we want to make or we want to receive. So I always look, and we talk about this, are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? And are they really engaged in the things that we're all doing? So the things that you talked about with marketing, I want to make sure we are providing those things to you and you're actually getting use out of them. There's benefit that comes from that.
To be in front of your agents, to educate them and to build relationships with them also is very important. Like you think about choosing a lender for your brokerage. Well, it's, you can't tell them who to use, right? They have to develop their own relationships. And that's very important.
You're providing leads. You can say, hey, these leads are going to go to this.
Yeah, because
right. But when it's their own book of business, I mean, that's the pro and the con. And agents are independent contractors. They do their own deal no matter what. But in the right culture, they do look, the mentee-mentor type deal, they do look to their mentors to help guide them a bit if they don't already have those relationships established. But that's the beautiful part and why I look at it as a long play. I know I win. I'll win every agent's book of business that they have to give, because we just do the things really, really well. We execute. We communicate. And we're always committed to giving everything away for free and educating.